Okay, guys, good morning. Um, I've been wanting to get some things off my chest, and I've been watching some stuff lately, and it's like it'll try to pull you in, but then I get pulled right back out. So I'm gonna go ahead and voice my opinion on it since the day has came. And I'm here to witness it. Now, I will say this. It's a beautiful morning. I love God. I am a lot closer with God in the past 3 years than I've ever been in my life, and I'm okay with that. The temptations have calmed down. A lot of things are looking good. Now, about this Revelations 12 sign that some people are saying is happening today. I'm not saying what you're seeing is not true, because I see the same thing you're saying. But from growing up in a society where you never trust the government, they're always up to something, I've just always feared them. You never know what to believe or expect, And I think we just had Hurricane Lee, government named that. They named that tropical storm. They named it a hurricane. They named it. I watched them. They name snowstorms. They put a lot of things before us, They put a name to everything, and they want you to put a name to everything. And if there's a brand behind it, stamp it. Okay, that's fine too. Now, what I will say about this Revelations 12 sign that's being put before you, let me ask you something. Do you really believe in your heart that God put it there? Or do you believe in your heart that the government set it there? It's the question you need to ask yourself. And really, really ask yourself. And if you have reasonable doubt, you need to stick with your gut instinct. I've always tried to go with my gut instincts, but then there's been times that I haven't. And I think we all know what happens when the times that we don't go with our gut instinct. We either get disappointed, we get let down, or we're like, dang, we should have done this or we shouldn't have done that. So I always say go with your gut instinct. Even though you don't sometimes, try to always go with it, because it don't lie to you. Your body's not going to lie to you. Now, what I will say else about what's being put before you is, again, I just witnessed the government name the hurricane that went past here and slammed Nova Scotia. So I've already witnessed that. I actually witnessed a few years ago the DART system program hitting a meteor and knock it off its course. So I've witnessed the government in heaven. Be different if I hadn't now. I mean, they're all the way on Mars, and you can't tell me that they're not, because the rover don't lie, unless they're on some sand that they've got inside this little building that they're just making us think that exists when it don't. So they've let it be known that they're in heaven. They've let it be known. I mean, a rocket just got sent off the other day that we knew nothing about. The only reason we knew about it is because a woman caught it on camera. That's right. So we've got thousands of rockets going to space a month. And we don't know what they're doing. But I'll promise you this. They ain't going to no space station 1,000 times a month. Okay, people? So, back to this sign that is being put before you. The government has told us that they're in heaven, period. And they're not going anywhere. They're there to stay. So, they knocked the asteroid off its path not too long ago. All because it was going to slam into another one. Wasn't doing any harm now. It was just going to slam into the other one, you know? Do what it's supposed to do. Because stuff like that is created by God for a reason. I honestly believe. And if God didn't allow people to build a temple to reach heaven, what makes you think, people, in your right minds now, because this is in the Bible, what makes you think that God's going to allow people to actually fly there? Come on now, think about it. But back to the sign, though, that's being put before you. So we had them be known that they're in space, knocking asteroids off their course. Well, this asteroid is now in the sign that's being put before you. If they wouldn't have hit it, where would it have went? We don't know, because they knocked it off its course. Because I bet if you go back to the satellites and you replay that, it ain't going to show you that asteroid hitting that other asteroid. And it's not going to show you that asteroid being hit by the DART rocket. So you got the government, and that's the war in heaven that they're creating. And I'm not talking about the war in the Bible heaven. They're up there and they're not supposed to be up there. They're making stuff appear when it's not supposed to appear. And they're making you people, yes, us, try to believe it. You know, it's one thing when God makes it happen. But when the government has hands in it, I don't believe anything. And people say, well, it's there, believe it. Okay. So is another asteroid that the government hit to knock it off its path. So what would make me think that 20 other asteroids, stars, whatever, and they got a whole sun over there in China, and a moon, why would I believe such? So people need to stop messing with God. They need to stop messing with the heavens, because he didn't. What happened when people tried to build the tower? He knocked them all down, and they came down speaking different languages and everything else, so they could not figure it out. And here someone's done figure out how to get a plane up there. The wrath is coming now, I promise you that. But don't be fooled. The real sign happened back in 2017. This other stuff is make-believe. Stop believing it. Because if anything, it probably happened in 2017, but this sign is man-made, and I'll promise you that. I can't really speak too much on 2017, so I'm going to take that back, because I really wasn't paying attention at that time. But this sign right here is man-made. Don't fall into the trap. The devil's everywhere. Even he once was this bright, bright star. So he's been there too, and he made it known. And all I'm saying to you guys is not to say that these people are bad for what they're saying. I mean, they're seeing what they're seeing, but they just don't know who put that sign there. And they need to stop. The government has been naming these asteroids. The government has been naming these comets. From back in the day, all of their names are Roman gods. And they just continued the tradition. That's where these asteroid names comes from. That's where the comets come from. Only some of our planets God named. So everyone else needs to stop and think about who puts a name to everything. Who is naming these asteroids up there? Ask yourself that. Who is naming these asteroids? Why hasn't anybody asked themselves that? Because it's not God naming these asteroids. So stop. God is not naming these asteroids nor these comets. It's man-made. So stop. I mean, that's all you got to ask yourself is who is naming these comets and asteroids? And there's your answer. That's it. And that's really all I got to say about it. When they find something and they don't put a name to it and a spin to it, then I might be able to believe it. But once you put a name to it and you put a spin to it and the government sets that sign up to be that, I don't believe it. Now, will the comet come down and tail strike everything? Who knows? But it's man-made. And if you can't see that, I mean, you're crazy. God ain't naming these asteroids or these comets that are just now appearing. People are digging into things and naming it what they want because they see what's about to happen. So why not align this with this? Why not align that or that? It's going to be over there here soon. Why not take it and put it there? That'll make them believe this, probably make them calm down, get right with the Lord. Y'all, please, and I'm begging you, please stop. The government, whether it's our government or someone else's government, is naming these asteroids and these comets. They are man-made. If God wanted us to have a big sign to say we would see it, maybe it was in 2017, maybe it wasn't, but it's not today. I'm sorry. That's man-made. And there's another comet asteroid in that sign that the government slung there with the DART program. So I don't want to hear anything negative. Just ask yourself that. Who's naming these comets? Who's naming these new minor planets? Who's doing all the naming behind it? And who's doing the definition meanings behind what names they pick out? So the government's got it figured out. They know where these things are coming from and where they're going. So let's name it this because it's going to go through there. So it's man-made, and I'm sorry to say the devil is a liar. Everyone stay blessed. This is a high watch time. I mean, a lot of people just died in the flood. A lot of people died through the earthquake. Just keep your heads up. But family, please. The devil is a liar, and I have to say that because it's been on my chest. Wait till the day to say this, because when you have doubt, you got to go with your gut, and I'm going with my gut. It's a high watch time, but this sign that's being put before you guys is man-made. Keep your heads up, and anything's possible in Bizarro World.